The clip that we had queued up was not necessarily the one that I thought at the time. It was. Now, I do want to play this for one specific reason, and that is because several people that I know and respect too got duped by this. And the reason is not their fault. I don't think it's their fault. I think it's the fact that this is so convincing and apparently not fake. Sorry, apparently it is fake, but that's hard to know because parody is impossible nowadays with the insanity on the left. We told you we were going to talk about a video from Microsoft, but again, during the commercial break, it was brought to our attention that this video is parody, although you might not know, and several people I know didn't know before playing it on their show. Watch this. We're going to play it in its entirety, and we'll discuss.
I made some stupid comments about Charlie Kirk on the day that he was shot. I said some things on Blue Sky and on Threads that I'm sorry, not sorry for, but I said them and I deleted them when it was requested that I do so by my employer. And then today on a weekend, I'm told that I am no longer employed at Microsoft. After 6 years, building the diversity, equity, and inclusion department from scratch.
That's okay.
I lose my job.
Go ahead and kill this. I think we've
because one of you
understand it well enough. That was the part where we probably should have been like, oh yeah, this seems fishy. That's too good. That's too rich. So just so you all know, we had this video queued up, and then just as a part of his due diligence to producer Glenn said, shoot, this video isn't actually real. Which, again, is more indicative of the fact that there are videos like that that are real. So we scrambled and we found a couple other of those that are like that, which we'll bring to you in a second. But again, further proving the point that sometimes parody is impossible in a world that is so absurd as it is now. If you would have told me this is 100% legit, I would have believed you. Now, earlier we said that Microsoft hasn't fired employees. Yeah, they have, but it wasn't that guy. That guy was doing a sketch, which unfortunately in our world of modern absurd insanity, you can't really tell. It's hard to tell. And I really wonder, maybe we should have done this in a different way, but I really wonder if we had just played that, been upset about it, and then said it was parody, how many of you would have gone, no, that's legit. That makes a lot of sense. He's got the nose ring. He was the DEI guy. He's posting a video like this. Hilarious. What's not hilarious is people that are actually posting things that are actually saying the cruel and awful things, not as a parody, not mocking the well, actually, these are the folks that this guy was mocking. This is a professor at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, Tamara Shinerian. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't care. Graphic one, Glenn, go ahead and pull that up. She's been fired after her viral post celebrating Charlie's death. Now, let's just read this post. I know this might make you a little bit angry, might feel a little bit of emotion here. But a professor at a university in the anthropology department, so I guess maybe not really a professor, said this: the world is better off without him. Even those who are claiming it's sad for his wife and kids, like his kids, are better off living in a world without a disgusting psychopath like him and his wife. Well, she's a sick F for marrying him. I don't care about her feelings. Okay. Like we mentioned earlier in the beginning, this is the type of person that we just don't want in our society. Not to say that, we want anything bad to happen to her. That's not what I'm saying at all. But as a part of the civic discourse, nope, don't need them. As a part of the workforce, nope, don't need them. I also got a ton of flack from this from the libertarians on the internet the other day. I called for, hey, if somebody loses their job because they are glorifying the assassination of a political figure, let alone a husband and father, they should not get government benefits either. How about that? How about you get fired and, you don't get food stamps, you don't get housing vouchers, you don't get any of the things that the government provides to people who get fired or find themselves unemployed. Now, my argument to that would, I don't think that should exist for anybody, but because it does exist, let's at least set some parameters and some limits. That was the problem. I go, well, the government can't decide who gets these benefits and who doesn't. Oh, yeah, how about this? Nobody gets the benefits, but specifically those people. Specifically, the people that are celebrating something so heinous and so horrible, maybe those people don't get the benefits. And you know what that would require them to do? It would force them back into the original charity, which would be the church, which would be exactly what Charlie would have wanted. So people like that exist. Be careful because they are around you. This is the thing with my wife and I have said over and over again. The most disturbing part of this is these people exist among us, which is scary to think about when you're walking around thinking, oh my gosh, this is more prevalent than I would have thought. But in addition to that, we got this clip from another guy who, again, this is real. This is a guy who has been now suspended for posting a video like this celebrating Charlie's murder. Clip 7.
A man who hated the LGBTQ community, who hated women's rights, who hated democracy, who thought that he was a big man because he went to college campuses and debated young college students and thought he proved how tough he was with his words that he studied ahead of time. What a piece of garbage. This is what happens.
Go ahead and stay on this clip, Glenn. I want to see this this bozo's face. What's his name? Benjamin Philo is a teacher at a high school in the Barrington High School community, Barrington School community. Sent out an email saying, "Hey, we are informing parents that he is on paid administration leave. Although there are students now taking to the classroom saying he should be fired." But again, to the point, what kind of argument is this? Like, what kind of argument is, okay, well, he hated the LGBTQ. We'll actually address that in a segment further down the line with Conservative Ant, because I do think that is necessary to discuss, considering Charlie is being called all of the ists, misogynist, homophobic, all of the things that are not true, just being labeled as such. What does he go on to say? Then he talks about, oh, women's rights, women's healthcare. That's my favorite argument, not to go on too much of a tangent. Women's healthcare is at risk. Oh, yeah, like if my wife sprains her ankle, all of a sudden she's not going to be able to get care. No, call it what it really is. Call it what you really is, you sickos. Killing babies, that's what this actually is. Women's healthcare. But then to make the grander point that he's making, before that, he said too, I can't thinking he's a big man because he's going on college campuses, that he's studied and prepared for this. Yeah, you should do that too. Do you not? Do you not read ahead of time and like study for questions that you might be asked by students in your classroom? There's a factor right there. Just like the lady in the Washington Post should have gotten fired, not because of what she posted, but because she's bad at her job. Maybe this guy who apparently thinks that is an anomaly. Yeah, this guy going to college campuses, just saying things that he learned from reading. Who does that? You should be doing that, dude. That's kind of the whole point of being a teacher and an educator. But then to his broader term of, this is what you get. Okay, cool. I mean, we could be furious and disgusted and horrified, and I am. But also, this is just a telltale sign of like, yeah, we don't need you in the workforce, and we don't want to. Sure as heck, don't want to be paying for whatever subsidies that you might be getting while out of the workforce. A civil society that has agreed upon a certain norm and a certain truth needs to uphold that truth. And if they can't, and people like this go unpunished by going on paid administrative leave, we will update you, by the way, in case that has changed throughout the course of this week. Again, students have been clamoring for this guy to be fired, which he should be, because he disagrees with one of the fundamental truths of our society, that murder is bad, which everybody agrees with. We'll keep you updated on whether or not that changes, but people like this guy exist. Not much else more to say than that. It's horrifying, it's disgusting, and I can't help but be appreciative of the folks that are doing the work to expose all of the people in our society that are not, quote unquote, getting canceled for their opinion, because again, disagreeing with truth is not an opinion. I'm super grateful for the folks that are doing all of the work to make sure people are getting held accountable, not by their opinions, but the way that they view the world. And like I said a number of times, I do hope they change their mind. There is a place for redemption. There is a place for people to genuinely reverse course and Charlie, of all people, would be the first person to welcome that, but they do have to show contrition. They do have to show that, yes, we made a mistake and we genuinely recognize that mistake, and we would like acceptance going forward. But until then, bye-bye, adios, whatever term you want to use to say that society is not better with you a part of it. Doesn't mean I want any violence. That doesn't mean I want anything to do with that. I'm simply saying that the firing of folks that are like this are really, to protect the people that work at that place from individuals who have such a deranged outlook on the world. So can't say I'm sorry, but it's a reality of truth. Love it or hate it. I currently love it at this moment. Despite the horrific tragedy, it is somewhat heartening to see how society can bounce back and just completely eliminate this sort of just grotesque insanity.